got the juice, keep the show on fire. Josh brings the news straight from the source with no desire. The judge, our wise advisor, keeps us in line. Fresh from the comic shop, showcase your design. Ask Joe the comic book ninja for insights to explore. The popcorn gets to know you from straight to the core. I guess out to think, cause we make some freaks. So much more to discover, this show's a hit. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. So let's start.
Well, hello. This is the second episode of Comic Book Canon in 2025. Is that correct, Joe?
I believe that is correct, as it is, wait. No, this is the third.
No, it's got to be the second. We're off the first week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's the third.
It's the third.
Either way, time is just flying by, am I right? I mean,
you are correct.
Here we are, February, right?
It is February, yes.
It is February, and we got time flying by quickly, Joe. I know you're feeling a bit under the weather, so we're going to try and make this Comic Book Canon not as invasive as previous Comic Book Canons for you. We will not, puncture any sort of orifices or anything like that. That's because
thank goodness.
What happens, so I think you would appreciate that. Am I right?
No orifice puncturing tonight. I have been sick on the couch most of the day, in and out of sleep, taking some cold meds and just trying to kick whatever this is that I have.
Okay, that's great, because we're going to get you through this, but I need you to bring the energy, Joe. Come on.
Okay, ready? Hold on.
Oh, God,
all right, cool. I'm ready for the show now. Everything's good.
Watch you do that. Here's the deal. We have our biggest fan in my fiance, Alicia, so we love you too. And everybody loves Alicia more than they love me. That's a fact.
True.
So here we go. As we know, February is Black History Month, and we just wanted to touch upon real quickly a couple of creators that stick out for Joe and I. Actually, we each picked one. Both of them are vastly different, I have to say, Joe. However, I like they come from different kind of parts of the comic book community, if that makes, or comic book artistry or comic book artists, if that makes any sort of sense. But here we go. We're going to start off with yours, Joseph. You chose Matt Baker. Talk to us.
I did. So Matt Baker, for those of you who don't know, he was a Golden Age artist, born in the 1920s in Depression era America. Grew up at a very different time than we have now. Matt Baker was both black and gay, so there was a lot, fighting against him during that time. He also had some medical conditions, which actually did kind of help boost his career because it kept him out of World War II. He had a heart condition and was not able to be drafted during World War II, so he was able to go to college and hone his art at this time, which led to his comic career. He is so well known for a wide array of stuff from the Golden Age. As you can see, this crime cover. He also did some superhero books, including most notably Phantom Lady, who he took her first solo run, or really her only solo run of the Golden Age, and made it what it is. Made it one of the most collectible runs. This character that was kind of the first time a female character was shown as extremely powerful and able to hold her own against a bunch of other. There we go. We got the Phantom Lady. That's Phantom Lady. What is it? Issue 20 or 22? 20, I think, which is kind of the most notable Phantom Lady cover by Baker. But he did more than half of them on this run. And if you go back to that last one, Jeff, the kind of thing he's most well known for is his romance covers. Everything from, Cinderella Love, which was a pretty popular title that he did a bunch of covers and interiors on, all the way to some real obscure ones. I actually did find one a couple months ago. I was very fortunate to find a Matt Baker romance cover, and a very scarce one at that. I should have brought it with me today, but I totally forgot. Unfortunately, Matt Baker passed away very young, 37 years old. I mentioned his heart conditions. He had a heart attack while living and working in New York City, just shy of his 38th birthday. And, definitely a terrible loss, definitely a talent that, despite having a relatively short career and, such a long time ago, has really stood the test of time. And some of his books are worth, even in low grade, $1,000 plus at this point.
Hey, he was also, he was probably also somebody who paved the way for, artists that come from different backgrounds. So I applaud your choice. This one's my choice. It kind of came near and dear to my heart. However, upon, just refreshing my memory about this artist, because I collected, especially one run in the early 90s. I found something out that was very cool that I think Josh will appreciate. My choice is Dennys Cowan. I fell in love with Dennys Cowan with this Deathlock run where he drew. He was the penciler on the issue. He's done a ton of stuff. He helped create Milestone Media.
Yeah.
Scott was a supervisor on the cartoon series. Was also a supervisor at BET for their cartoon series as well. And I had no idea about this, but he was also the artist on Weird War Tales 83.
Really?
To be the first appearance of Creature Commando. So that was very, very cool. I'm glad I learned this today. But again, we just want to feature some some artists for Black History Month. We may do another couple for the rest of the episodes this week. Just want to remind everybody, though, we do not have an episode next week. So right there, those are the artists we are featuring, Matt Baker and Dennys Cowan. If you're not familiar with their work, please check them out because they have definitely made an impact in the hobby, in the community that we all love dearly. All right. Now it is episode 213, right, Joe? So we have
birthday. That's my birthday.
February the 13th.
213, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the day before Valentine's Day. How can I forget that?
All right, maybe.
Anyways, we'll talk about that later. But our featured episode issue is a 213. Dan De La Torre again coming up with some fire. By the way, Alicia says feel better, Joseph. She said you a rose. I don't know what that means.
Ooh.
Awkward. So anybody want to guess what this featured episode issue is? 213.
We did have a guess. There was a guess in the chat.
Oh, what was it?
Who do you think it was? It was Mr. Dr. Plagueis himself, Uncanny X-Men 213.
Honestly, we can't. You are uncanny, Dr. Plagueis. You're right. It is X-Men 213. It is also Psylocke joins the team. First cameo of Mr. Sinister. It's written by Chris Claremont with pencils by Alan Davis. I love this cover, by the way. Alan Davis's covers are great. Sometimes his interior work, meh. But in Uncanny X-Men 213, the team faces escalating internal tensions as a new, ruthless adversary launches a brutal assault on mutant kind. Secrets and personal conflicts come to the forefront, testing the X-Men's unity and challenging their ideals. Ultimately, the issue sets the stage for a dramatic showdown that promises to redefine the future of the mutant community. So right there, issue 213 is Uncanny, or featured episode issue 213 is Uncanny X-Men 213. Go for it.
Yeah, one thing that's not noted, I don't think this is even on Key Collector. This is the first cover that features both Wolverine and Sabretooth. A character.
Oh, snap. I forgot that. I knew that too. Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know if it's on Key Collector or not, but their first meeting is actually the issue before, but Wolverine is on the cover solo. So this is the first time they're ever both featured on a cover together. And it's their second time interacting, which is huge. That's a what's the word that I'm thinking of? Nemesis. No, that's not the word.
He is
he's a nemesis, but no, that's a not a relationship. That's a contentionship almost. That's I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of.
They're frenemies.
No, it's I'm thinking of a word, and honestly, it's the sick.
Put it in the chat. We have no idea what Joe's thinking, but
I'm thinking of that word. But it is an interaction, that is up there with Charles and Magneto.
Yeah,
and Peter and Norman Osborn. There's so many just absolute clashes and just strong relationships between frenemies, as you say, that's one of the biggest ones in comics, and definitely one that is very underrated in my opinion.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. They have a fascinating history that was kind of almost retroactive, where you had these obviously Sabretooth was he first appeared in Iron Fist 14.
Yep.
And obviously kind of weaving that in, like, oh, we're going to take this character, and it actually worked really, really well. So again, that right there, 213, first cover appearance of them fighting as well. And they have many, many amazing battles. All right. As we do every week, after our pleasantries, our hellos, our special kind of shout outs for, like Black History Month, we do the news with, he is the leader in comic book news out there. Am I right? His name is Josh. His name is Josh, and he kind of rocks it. And as well as you can tell, because we wanted the song to exemplify how much Josh rocks it by delivering the news and rumors.
Josh delivers the news and rumors.
Here he is.
Joe, with you in the studio going, meow, 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 that just crushed it. You're like, guys, I have an idea. Meow, 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 meow. And
I did, in fact, lay down the vocal track for that, yes.
It was outstanding. By the way, Josh, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling well. I'm feeling rested, and shout out to Joe. I'm sending my wishes over to him. Hopefully, my good health will go through the channel tonight on the airwaves and make him feel better.
I really can't tell if he's rubbing it in or not. However,
he's rubbing it.
I'm enjoying it. It's fantastic. Now, before we jump into the news, we always remind you all that we have a newsletter. Again, if you cannot catch the show live, it's as easy as eating apple pie. I just made up a phrase. As easy as eating apple pie, the best pie out there. To just follow the newsletter, because the newsletter encapsulates exactly everything from the show. And it's also got clickable links going straight to your favorite segments. So be sure to follow our newsletter down below. The link is down below in the description. And also, we have a nice contest going. If you refer any new subscribers to the newsletter, you can win some really cool things. There's 3 tiers to this. The first tier is, where is it? The first tier is a curated comic book from our curated collection. One of the Canon crew here will be sending that out to you if you get 25 members. If you get, I think it's 75. You get this wonderful comic book Canon. I don't know. I had this written down somewhere. It's amazing comic book Canon Stanley tumbler. Also with the logo on there, it looks amazing. And then if you get us 100 subscribers from you personally, you're going to get this amazing Iron Man from Dan De La Torre. So again, please subscribe to the newsletter. You're doing yourself a favor by doing so, because you can catch up every Monday with your favorite segments, just clicking right to it right there. You don't have to scrub all the way through. Is that right, Joe?
That is affirmative, yes.
Josh?
Exactly.
Okay, wonderful. Why don't we just get into the news?
Yeah, we got some good news. Let's start with some Fantastic Four. So this week we are going to get a Fantastic Four trailer, and it is either going to drop. God bless you, Joe. It is either going to drop on February 4th, which is Tuesday, on Good Morning America, or it will drop at the Super Bowl. Now, the reason why I got 2 different dates is because a few weeks ago, everybody was wondering when it was going to be, and we know that Marvel is going to release 2 trailers for the Super Bowl. Obviously, there's only 3 films that I know of right now that are coming out. That's Captain America, which will be coming out in, 2 weeks? Yep. I think we're away from that. We got Day. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. And what better way to introduce Fantastic Four than at the Super Bowl? However, a few days ago, Good Morning America put a link up saying that, hey, we're releasing the Fantastic Four trailer on Tuesday. Since then, it has been taken down and you can't find anything about it. So it's either they're going to surprise us on Tuesday morning, or we'll just have to wait for the Super Bowl. But expect to have our first look at Fantastic Four sometime this week. I honestly cannot wait. I've heard great things about this film. It's going to be amazing. And I honestly think this might be $1 billion film. I'm just going to put it out there from everything I've heard and how well it is. And I think if you're an original Fantastic Four family member and you love the history and the lore of the characters, the first half hour, 45 minutes, it's really going to blow you away.
I
So,
have
yeah.
2 quick comments. Joe, I don't want to trip over you, but before I forget, the Eagles will win the Super Bowl. I'm saying that
Sure.
now.
Yeah.
I'm confident, and I don't come into things like that. But also, the Thunderbolts are coming out before Fantastic Four. Isn't that right?
No. Oh.
May, I thought.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
so
fourth. That's in July.
I mean, we've already seen a Thunderbolts trailer. They got plenty of time to market. Just show us Fantastic Four trailer. I'm all about the Fantastic Four trailer. I want it for Super Bowl. Joe.
Yeah, it would be cool, and in my opinion, it'd be cool to do it on Tuesday because it's February 4th, F4, Fantastic Four. I think there's a little cool thing to do, Marvel dropping 2 trailers during the Super Bowl. I think it's a little unnecessary. So drop the Fantastic Four one this week. Give us, maybe just give us that commercial again during the Super Bowl, the same one, and also, to reach a wider audience, and then give us the Thunderbolts.
We're definitely going to be seeing Captain America trailer, no doubt about that. It's coming out. They need to market it as much as possible at this point.
But it won't be a new one though. They're not going to give us a new trailer a week less than a week before.
Yeah, no, they've given us a lot already. So yeah. I agree with that. But again, if those are the 2 spots, they're definitely doing Captain America, no doubt about that.
Okay, sorry. I was thinking that the report, Josh, maybe you can clarify this. I thought it was 2 new trailers dropping.
Exactly. That's what I.
Oh, brand new trailers. Okay, so then that excludes Captain America. So
and like Joe was saying, that we've already got like 2 trailers for Captain America and 10 of TV spots. I don't think there's anything else they can really show to get you more excited for that film. So, and it makes sense. Like I said, you're at the Super Bowl is known for the big commercials and big TV trailers. And what better way? I mean, I was thinking maybe we'll get a teaser trailer, like a small little one on Tuesday for February 4th, and then give us the actual full review at the Super Bowl.
Derek said that right here in the chat as well.
Yeah,
he beat you to it. All right, we're gonna move on though for our next. It's MCU actually. We're gonna go our next little piece of news nugget. What's going on, Josh?
Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. Every time I announce something, it seems like Kevin and the gang wants to like come after me and try to make it look like I'm not a credible source here. Like I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. So Chris Evans has denied the reports that he was returning to the MCU, and he has said he's happily been retired. Dude, you were just in a Marvel film not even 6 months ago, about 6 months ago, when you returned as the Torch in Deadpool and Wolverine. So you're not retired, all that. And there's a lot of talk, people bringing that point up to him. And let's be honest, this is every person who gets asked, like, hey, are you joining the MCU? I've never heard of it. And guess what? Then you end up joining. So, Chris can say what he wants. It's already been reported it from Deadline that he's going to be in the film. Take it as you will. Everybody and nobody will be in the next 2 Avengers films, I guess.
Joe, follow it up. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. This is one of those things that he could be telling the truth, that he could be lying. I think it's more than likely that he's going to be in the movie. I'll put it at like 60%. I think there's a good chance that he will be in this movie, whether he is Captain America. I don't think he'll be the Human Torch again. Captain America, Nomad, or Captain Hydra. He will be in one of the Avengers, or maybe even both of the Avengers movies. I think it's more likely than not. You can't believe what anyone says. How long did Andrew Garfield say, "Oh, I'm not in the Spider-Man movie"? And
exactly.
He did a good job with that, though. By the way, he was pretty good at it.
He did. Yeah.
And I agree. I really hope that they go along the lines of all of these evil versions of the characters, like Maestro too. That'd be dope. And bringing back, even like Scarlett Johansson. I think it would be amazing. So again, it's going to be a lot out there that is going to be deflections, and it's going to be interesting times until a film comes out or we get some leaks. So yeah. I'm very excited. I'm here for it. But what we don't usually see is somebody doing a 180, confirming it, saying that they were wrong. So Josh, please tell us.
Yeah, so Cumberbatch, who plays as Doctor Strange, came out a week after and said the same thing. He said, hey, I'm not going to be in the film. Now he did a 180. Now he's going to be in the film. But what is interesting to note is he didn't say what character he would be playing. So there was kind of a little bit of a rumor going around. Don't worry, hold on. Before I get to it, obviously we know who's Doctor Strange, but there's some other rumors going around that I'm going to be announcing at the next show.
Interesting.
Not this week coming up, but the following week we'll talk about that. But he might be portraying, or at least doing voice acting for a different character in the MCU. So yeah, you have to stay tuned. Tune into the next show,
Which
episode
is
214, to find out about that.
It's 216, 2 weeks from today. So yeah, no show next week because of the Super Bowl. But this is amazing. Again, Josh, you are the best out there in gathering all the news and the rumors and hitting up all your contacts. It's the first I'm hearing of this, and I'm excited to hear who this person would be. You did not let us know that little detail before the show started. So
it's my job to keep.
But you have to run this by
show.
us. Am I right, Joe? You're his boss, technically. I don't want to step on feet here.
Yeah, I am. I'm his boss, and he can do what he wants. And
oh wow,
if that means kicking you off the show, he has the ability to kick you off the show. There we go. All right, Jeff. I didn't know you were going to do that, but we'll leave Jeff behind the stage for a little bit. What's the next news story?
Yeah, then. So this is a bit of sad. I haven't watched the show, but if a lot of viewers do, probably on the Netflix, they have The Sandman. They made a show about The Sandman, and they had multiple seasons in the works.
Josh, can you hold on one second? Can you hold on one second?
Sure.
Jeff, even though you're backstage and not on the show, I need you to control the things because I'm not nearly as good at it as you.
You kicked me off.
All right, you're back in. Do the thing.
So we just talked last week about this issue with Neil and the sexual assault cases that are going on with him and multiple victims coming forward. Well, Netflix has decided to cancel The Sandman. Season 2 will be released, and that is it. There were plans for a season 3, possibly even a 4, obviously, with the storyline. But Netflix decided, hey, we're going to end ties with this. So you're going to get a season 2 out of it, which will be a conclusion. And moving forward, Netflix will probably end up eventually maybe taking the show off as well, I would imagine, depending on how much worse this case ends up unfolding.
Yeah, this comes as no surprise. We knew that the second season was already underway as far as, filming. I think it's in production or maybe even in post-production at this point. But we knew that the second season was probably going to still continue as it had been worked on and things like that. But it is not surprising at all that it was not renewed for a third season after the allegations against Neil Gaiman. And yeah, I think if this does go, as it seems like it might go, I do think that there is a possibility, Josh, what you said, they just take this off of Netflix and scrub it from their catalog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these allegations are horrific. If true, like literally, there should be consequences. There's already people that want to disassociate themselves with it. Again, where there's smoke, there's fire a lot of the times, but we don't want to come to conclusions either. I'm not defending these monstrous, heinous acts by any means. However, due process has to play out. At the same time, Netflix has every right to be like, you know what, not worth it, and be on their way. So we'll have to see what happens here. I'm tired of these stories and these actual people taking these actions and holding their power over other people and performing these heinous acts. It's awful. And again, people need to be held accountable. So that's all I'll say for that. We need to move on to the next piece of news, which is really what?
Yeah, so this is interesting. And this actually, don't be alarmed, this has happened to Man of Steel. It also happened to Superman Returns. But the real estate of Joseph Schuster is suing his real estate is suing WB and DC Studios, claiming it lacks the rights to release Superman in a handful of key territories. They have done this, like I said, for Man of Steel. They did it for Superman Returns, and every time they try to take them to court to block it, they get denied and they lose. So there's a lot of people, I don't say a lot, there's a small group of people who don't want to see James Gunn succeed. They don't want to see this film make any money, and they're hoping, they're saying, oh, well, look, now you're not going to be able to release the film. They're not going to make any money. No, this has happened to every single Superman IP or film that has came out before. It's not going to be an issue. Don't worry about it. So if you see something like this in the news, you'll be fine. Superman will release in July, multiple territories, and looking forward to it.
There's too much riding on this film, not only financially, but financially for sure, but there's too much riding on this film because they really need to inject life in their IPs in terms of their superhero properties. Beloved character like Superman has to succeed. We've talked about this on many episodes, many previous news stories. Joe even emphasizes him not being a Superman fan, but he wants to see this succeed as well, because the whole genre does well when especially a tentpole character like Superman does well. So there's a lot riding on this, and I know these allegations have come, not allegations, I'm sorry, these kind of legal battles have come beforehand. So again, hopefully it's the same outcome. I don't want people getting stiffed either, like the Schusters, the Siegel and Schuster, like they created this character in a time where people just kind of used these artists and just took their property and boom, you're gone. So there should be something given, they should have something for that. Some sort of percentage, but who knows what the legality is on this. But I just want this, this whole universe to succeed. Joe.
Yeah. I mean, and this is just a good time to remind everyone that, the vast majority of comic book creators are not paid very well, or not taken care of very well by the major companies, Marvel and DC. Obviously with Image and other indies that are creator owned, it's a little bit different, but obviously always support the creators. Joe Shuster's no longer with us, Jerry Siegel's no longer with us, but their family, realistically, they should have had some generational wealth going there, and they probably did not. I don't know their finances of their families, but if you see Claremont or Simonson or something like that at a show, go get something signed. Go get throw them a tip for a sketch or something like that. Whatever it may be, always good to support the creators that brought us, the stuff that we love.
That's so well said. So well said. We'll leave it at that. Before we get to the rumors, we're reminding you to please like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Also, the newsletter link is down below. If you can't catch an episode live, you can always catch up the next day on the newsletter and click to your favorite segments. It's that easy. All right, now we're going to move on to the rumors, Josh, and there's some interesting stuff here. Some really interesting stuff.
This is where this is my bread and butter. This is where I get down in the jam, the gooiness. You know what I mean? This is stuff I love. Actually, probably the stuff that got me my
Let's not talk about your gooiness anymore. You're already in an HR violation as it is.
So this is something, I think the first bit of rumors that we're going to talk about, I think Joe's going to like this, and I think most Marvel fans will. So they are currently searching for actors for the new X-Men film that's coming out. So currently, right now, Marvel is looking and casting for Kitty Pryde, which, I guess everybody kind of knew that was going to be the case. They want to go with some newer, younger actors, and I'm sure we're going to see maybe some of the older actors come in, maybe pass the torch, and maybe continue on as well. We'll have to see. But yeah, Kitty Pryde is being casted, as well as Gimlet.
Who? Hello?
Gambit. I got Gambit.
Gambit. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I thought something weird happened there. I was like, what?
Well, we already got quiet for a second, though.
I didn't realize I was on mute.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Anyways, Gambit. We all know Gambit.
Yeah, this is okay. So let's rewind back to the 2000s X-Men movies, because what they did with the character Rogue basically was they combined Rogue and Kitty Pryde. They took a lot of Kitty Pryde's past and her character development stuff, and they put her into Rogue. And I don't think it did justice to either character. There were a lot of great things about Anna Paquin's portrayal, but they clearly merged two characters together and didn't do either of them justice. I think casting a good Kitty Pryde as a teenage girl, runaway, whatever they decide to do with her character, and have her grow up through the X-Men and through the school and into the X-Men and beyond. I think that will just make for a really good 10 to 15 year run of mutants in the MCU. I think she should be a very focused on character, in my opinion.
Agreed. Again, it's bringing that younger generation of mutant right there that can lead, because she has become a force within the X-Men. And you've seen that growth from when she first came onto the team, and in the Xavier School, all the way to now, where she's been the leader of certain X-Men teams. So I hear you right there. I think it's a good way to kind of grow the X-Men team, have them morph, bring in new characters as other characters leave. I think that's the way to do it, big time. So I'm excited for this. And again, Gambit, people may not be happy about it because people do love what Channing Tatum's performance as Gambit.
Yeah.
Who knows though, Josh? Is there any talk about him reprising the role?
I've heard rumors that after Deadpool and Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds is really trying to get him to get his own movie. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't mind, obviously he was a variant, so I wouldn't mind a variant kind of type way, like if he shows up in Secret Wars and stuff. But like, the problem is the age. Obviously, X-Men going forward, we're going to have a younger team and a bit of a different, more comic accurate team. So I kind of feel like you're going to need to have an actor that's probably going to need to be in this role for at least the next 10 to 15 years, I would think. Mm. So,
but who knows if Gambit's even going to be one of the major characters coming in? They may start from the original 5, So, again, so many different ways that they can go, which is really cool. And that would kind of negate the whole Kitty Pryde thing. But from what Josh is hearing, again, casting Gambit, casting Kitty Pryde, it could be a different kind of iteration of the X-Men. So we just want the X-Men. Let's get them in.
Yo, so this rumor has me pumped, and I think it's going to happen, but we'll get into that in a minute. So Kit Harington, who has been in the MCU, he has also played on Game of Thrones. It's rumored going around that he is our future Hush. Now, you're probably thinking, this is just some clickbait. Nobody, people making this up. I will say this, though. We just got a little bit of confirmation that in the Penguin show, it's like one of the second last episode or the last episode, they've referenced the Elliott Bridge. Mm-hmm. Now, the producer was asked if this was intentional or was it just like a quick little thing. They said no, it was intentional. It was supposed to be in there for a reason. That's all they said. So I am going to take whether he's going to end up being cast or if he's, in the running or what. I believe that we're probably going to end up getting Hush as one, if not the main villain of the film. Also, due to the simple fact that, the name Hush and his father, Thomas Elliott, appears in the first film as well. So, yeah, we'll see how this rumor turns out. But honestly, I think Kit would do a great job as a character. And I think they would obviously tweak the character a little bit in the film to make him a bit different. But we'll have to see what happens with this rumor.
I just want to, Derek, rip Black Knights. That's hilarious. Who knows? He could come back too, by the way.
I was going to say, this is a perfect example of Marvel just really fumbling an actor here, a very popular actor. I'm not a Game of Thrones guy. Just not something I ever got into, but I knew nonetheless, I knew the name Kit Harington from so many people talking about him. And like I said, Marvel had him as a supporting character in one movie that wasn't very good and didn't really, it started the road for him, but that was years. That was what, 2021, 2020, maybe early 2022 that movie came out. It was forever ago.
It was quite a long time ago, and who knows what's going to be happening with that, because Blade was supposed to be involved as well with the after credit scene. I don't freaking know, but he sure is a handsome man, this kid. I tell you what, and I would love to see him as Hush. I was talking to Josh early before the show started. This is a hot take. Tell me if you agree or disagree. But the Hush run, I just finished it, by the way, for the first time. Believe it or not, I think it's overrated. Time out. The ending is overrated. I thought everything leading up to the ending was great, but the ending to me was very underwhelming. So that's all I'll say. all I'll say. We still have some other stories to talk about, Joshua, so let's get to it.
Yeah, so this one is a bit of, well, it's a rumor, but maybe confirmation. We'll have to see. So, actor Harry Goodwin's posted a photo of Green Arrow. By the way, looks exactly
He looks
like
great. He looks
Oliver
great.
Queen. And he has the following caption: "In 2025, I have big moves. It's happening." And he also tagged James Gunn in the photo. And it's a photo of obviously Green Arrow. So is this just him, trying to campaign, or is this him saying, "Hey, I've been casted. You have to wait and see. It's going to be announced." Either way, I think obviously from this picture, man, I mean, that's Green Arrow all day long. I would like to see, and I hope Green Arrow is in the DCU and potentially the Justice League when they do that. And if he's in, I mean, I'm down for it. I've never seen any of his work, but like I said, based off of this, picture right here, I would think he probably would do great.
Again, don't know anything about this dude's acting chops, but he does look the part for sure. And he's speaking it into existence at this point. I don't think they would announce it this way. That's a major tease, and I think James Gunn would probably be pissed if they signed him and this is happening. So, but yeah, Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah,
Mark.
yeah, I look like a Mark Spears cover. That's
great.
sure.
That guy's hot now. I don't know if you know
He
that.
is the hottest of hot right now.
By the way, that's Jeff.
Yeah, the other Jeff.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you could put this character on the screen, this picture on the screen, and say, which comic character this is, and I would have immediately said Green Arrow. As someone who's not even a fan of Green Arrow, just looks the part. So, comic accurate look, check. Acting chops to be determined. Let's see if it can happen, and whether it's something that's already penned or not. I have to assume that there's a lot of information about the DC universe, about characters that have been in negotiations or officially cast that we don't know about. We're kind of deep into the process at this point.
I do want to say though, there was something similar that happened here where Jason Momoa met with James Gunn after James Gunn got the gig.
Yep.
And he walked out saying, "I am so excited," right?
Yep.
And everybody's like, "Oh, snap, he's going to be Lobo." And that completely died down. And then he's Lobo. So, I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. We have one more news story here, and it's another DC casting rumor that a lot of people will be very happy about. Joshua.
Yeah, me and Jeff were talking about this, and the reason why this actress would be cast as a certain character, and I think it has to do with the hair. Honestly, I think her hair would be spot on. Yeah. But Sydney Sweeney has been rumored potentially, or at least fan cast as Power Girl. I think it's the hair. I mean, give her a little shortcut. Her hair looks tremendous. Her hair looks big and beautiful.
Is your girlfriend near you, Josh? By the way, I'm just curious.
No. This is something going around. I'm just rumors. Something I wouldn't mind. Actually, I'm kind of hoping she goes to Black Cat. I mean, that's my fan cast for her. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
I don't want her as either. I don't think she's a very good actor. She is, a very attractive person, but she's not. I've never seen her in anything that I've been at all impressed with her acting skills, and for that reason, I don't want her in the movie, even if she is comic book accurate appearance wise to Power Girl and her two best friends. That's not what I want. I'd rather have someone who's good at acting, especially as someone as an important character as important as Power Girl.
For sure, but here's the deal. Also, I don't have a problem with her as an actor, to be honest, and she's actually changing her appearance completely for her next role. I don't remember what it is, but I like when actors do that. They get so committed to the role. Like, so she's completely changing things. We could see like a whole Charlize Theron. Remember when she gained a whole bunch of weight, and I think she was up for an Academy Award for that. Actually, maybe.
And she played Arlene Warnos.
I can't remember who it was, but again, so let's just wait and see. Brian says, she's rumored to play everybody, and that's true. Sure. She's pretty kind of like the it girl in Hollywood, not the it girl, but up there. So we shall see. I'm sure she's going to land a role with some sort of DC or some sort of comic book property at some point. She has to. She did.
Rumor, she's also rumored to be a Jedi in an upcoming Marvel Star Wars film as well. I mean, take that as you will. I guess I forget what movie it was she recently just had where she was like in a rom-com with
It was called Madam Web.
Yeah. Don't even say Madam Web. That's more like a comedy slash like.
Oh God.
I don't know. How would you call it? Like a sci-fi movie? I guess.
All right. This is dragging.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start making movies, making rumors about her. Let's tell everyone she's gonna be Woody in the Toy Story live action reboot.
There you go. That's perfect casting too, by the way. All right, with that, Josh, we got it. You love what you do. You bring it every single week, but we're gonna have to wrap this news and rumor report right now. So, have a great one.
Josh delivers the news and rumors.
Josh will be back. We're just kidding. It's just 45 minutes in or 40 minutes in, and we just finished the news. That's just crazy town. Joe he's going to need an IV soon to rehydrate himself. So we got to get this thing moving. Now, just a reminder, put your questions in for Ask Joe and Joe. Right now, we're going to say hello to you fine people real quick, like Derek Neiman. Oh, wow. Sidney Sweeney cast as Galactus. I believe you. Kate is in the house as well. We'll have the judge, Dan De La Torre. He is awake. He's awake from his mid nap. He's on the West Coast, so his midday nap is complete right there. Spud Comics in the house. Spud, hello. Dr. Guillaume in the house, as we said, just is in the house as well. Who else do we have? We have, there's so many people in the chat here just chatting away, and we love it. Swaggle House is in the house as well. Joseph, you're in the house. By the way, Kate is watching. Sabrina Carpenter, no hate. Again, you got other things going on in your life. All you people do. So again, we don't hold it against you. Karen, this may be a coworker of mine. I'm not sure, but now I'm here. Maybe I don't know if that's her though. I can't tell by that picture. Who else? Goonish Lurker in the house. Kaboom Comics in the house. D&T Collectibles in the house. Nukes in the house. Josh, we just saw, but he is in the house as well. Heroes Reborn in the house. Nori Jordan, a.k.a. Jordan Nori in the house. Caleb Leland in the house. Alicia in the house. We got so many of you in the house. I'm getting so annoying. Again, so, the canon here is fueled by you fine people of the community. That's why we celebrate you people in a segment we call Popcorn. Right, Joe? We ask you all to talk about yourselves and then nominate somebody to talk about themselves. And we're starting to get things going here. It's going real well because we're going to learn about Coastal Comics right now.
Popcorn. It's time for comic book canon. Popcorn. Let's learn about each other.
Oh, hi. This is Rob from Coastal Carolina Comics. I'd like to thank the Comic Book Canon for the invite and Mike's Comics 77 for the shout out. I'm coming to you from somewhat sunny South Carolina, but I was born and raised in Connecticut, not too far from Kate's Comics, if any of you know Kate. My first comic was Conan #1, I think, which is right back here. I got that back in the day, and so that'll give you a little clue about how old I am. I collected until I was 17, but like a lot of people, I stopped collecting until not too long ago. I picked up a comic book with an Adam Hughes cover, Catwoman #51, the Lost Numbers issue. Incredible. Got me all back in on comic books. I just recently opened a little comic shop in Myrtle Beach, right across the street from Myrtle Beach State Park, which leads me to my other hobby, which is collecting shark teeth. My daughter and I spend a couple of days a week walking the beaches looking for prehistoric shark teeth, which is pretty cool. Anyways, that's all I have. Nice meeting you. And I want to do a shout out for Blair's Comics, the best comic book presser and cleaner out there. Have a great day and be safe out there.
All right. There's Rob from Coastal Carolina Comics. Again, If you're interested in being part of the popcorn, hit us up. But people are nominating each other, and it's really nice how this thing is rolling as we wanted it to. Again, if you have not yet, please like and subscribe. Also, link down below for our newsletter. Right now, we want you to get your questions in for a little thing we call
Ask Joe, Ask Joe, Ask Joe, 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 Ask Joe, whoa, and Jeff.
That song is awesome. Like, let's be honest. That song is it rules. Joe, you have a great voice too, by the way. All right, so we're gonna get this thing started with Kate. Kate is asking a question. Ask Joe. No, Jeff. That's fine. Do you think Chappelle will win Best New Artist?
So this isn't Chappelle. This is Chapel Rowan, who is a singer. I would think so. I mean, this. I'm not too into her music. Actually, I'm not into her music at all. But like, she burst on the scene in the last year or so, and I know she was like kind of gaining popularity on TikTok prior to that. But she certainly is like the new voice of the the younger Gen Z crowd that's in their late teens, early 20s now, and she's doing a ton of stuff. So yeah, I can see that happening. Not about comics, but hey, cool question.
But again, these questions can be anything. And by the way, I am Gen Z. I got to start getting into Chapel.
Yeah, you're Gen Z.
Yeah.
Oh.
I tell that to everybody all the time, and they believe me.
I forgot you were born in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Gen Z. Moving on though, Dr. Plagueis. Ask Joe and Jeff and Josh. Let's bring Josh in real quick. What is your new favorite YouTube that starts with paper and ends with plastic and features a doctor? I'm gonna say it first. It's Paper and Plastic with Dr. Plagueis. New YouTube channel. I believe they're on their second show, or they just did their second show Friday. So everybody should be following. If you're not, I'll pass this along to Joe.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch yet. At least in the live, I caught the replay of the first show. So yeah, now I gotta find a Friday evening that I've got some free time. Obviously, Dr. Plague is awesome member of the community. We have actually I have a package coming from him this week. All of you should be on the lookout for that because it's going to be a pretty sick package. But we've bought from and sold to each other over the last couple of years, and he's definitely someone that we have to have on the show sometime. It's going to be a 2025 goal.
For sure, yeah, we definitely should do that.
And B, I got to meet this guy in real life at some point.
Yo, Dr. Plagueis, you need to drop a link, as Mons is saying. Get a link in the chat here for that. Also want to say what's up to Broke Boy. Also, Immortal Scruffy has made it. All right, we're going to move on to the next question here as well. Oh, Josh, did you want to answer?
I just want.
Weird how it just cut out like that. I don't understand.
It's crazy.
Ask Joe and Jeff. John Gallagher was outed on the Beyond Wednesday stream of using stock. Oh, thank you for this, Brian. He gave us a heads up. Outed on Beyond Wednesday stream of using stock images nearly identical in recent covers with few changes. Where is your line for artists on using others' work? This is easy for me.
Yeah. So this is something that's definitely been talked about a lot more recently, especially with AI and things like that, because AI doesn't just make things up; it takes things that exist and learns from it. So as far as copying other artists' work, definitely a no-no. I mean, inspiration, great, perfect. Most artwork is inspired by other artwork or inspired by other creation. But when it goes more than homage or parody or inspiration, it becomes plagiarism. That's just the only word for it. Plagiarizing another artist's work, using it as your own, trying to pass it off as your own. Big no-no, thumbs down, don't do it.
I'm 100%. Unless it's like an obvious, like, hey, I'm remixing this. You know what I mean? Like, you could remix a song. It's the same song, but it's different. If you're remixing it with the artist's consent, sure. If you're just ripping them off, no. Because like AI and people too, we learn. I think Keith Richards once said that nothing is unique in music anymore. We all take from something from somewhere. Sure, but this is flat out plagiarism, as Joe said. Not about that. Immortal Scruffy asked Joe, do you think that this is a great question.
This is so cool.
And Anyway, ask Joe, do you think that the Infinity Stones and the Lantern's powering stones are the same but are in two different universes? It's like
this is really interesting because I have actually never heard this come up before. I don't know, Jeff, have you heard anyone mention something?
I've never heard it, nor have I ever conceived the thought of this. However, it's like,
And we do know that there are some crossovers between Marvel and DC. Particularly, the one that I can think of is Mr. Mxyzptlk is the Impossible Man in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
Same character, but one is one universe's version of the character and one is the other. And he actually can go back and forth between the two, I guess. But yeah, we know there is that connection there. So sure, this is a cool little fan theory thing.
I'm just amazed by the question. I don't really have an answer. Like, it'd be cool if it was, I guess. I don't know. It's so weird. It's like one of these things you have to kind of sleep on, right, Joe? Like, I don't know how it would affect things, but it's a really cool question. So I applaud you, Scruffy, for the question, but I don't know how to answer it. I have to think about it. I like the idea, but at the same time, I don't. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Oh, no. Anyways, moving on. Josh's Comics. Ask Joe and Jeff as well. If you could only save one comic in your collection, what one would you save? We want the comments. We want your answers in the comments, everybody, as well. Joe, how are you going to do this?
I want to say that it's this book right next to me right here.
Hold on.
I want to say it's this one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, despite it being worth less than this, Detective Comics 168, I think it might be my Steve Ditko book, which is Amazing Spider-Man 30 from the personal collection of Steve Ditko, co-creator Spider-Man.
Right.
That's truly a one of one. There's not
for sure.
Buy that again if it got destroyed in a fire or whatever. So, there's a bunch of Detective Comics, probably a couple hundred Detective Comics 168s out there. There's only one of that book. So yeah.
That's a good answer. Actually, I would have put that first, but I'll say it real quick. You probably all know which one it is. It's my daughter's comic book.
All right.
I got a 9.8 from EGS. Now, if I have to, if it's something else, this is another one that's very close, near and dear to my heart. It's this Amazing Spider-Man 96 signed by Stan Lee. Which can we see it? Yeah. This would probably be the one. I'd have to take two, but my daughter's first. That's a great question, Josh. Everybody, let us know what your answer is in the chat. We got another question for Brian. How excited are you that Sticky Goose is off YouTube after complaining that his commenters were too mean to him?
Yeah, this guy truly dug his own grave. He decided to behave in a way that got him clicks and views and no news is bad news, kind of negative attention and all that stuff. And it came back to bite him. And I don't really feel bad for him. I'm kind of glad that he's gonna stop doing YouTube, because it's, like I said, I do not think it has had a net positive effect on the community whatsoever. I think it's been net negative.
In terms of him leaving, or just
no, his existence within the community and his social media presence, I think, has been a net negative. And we don't need that. We don't need that.
I don't know much about him, but the things that I have heard, I just see him as a clown and just him trying to stir shit up. So good riddance, to be honest. But I also think that this is a good chance of him taking a beat for a second and then coming back. You know what I mean? To be able to have that kind of impact. Oh, look, I'm back. So I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it, but at the same time, it's like whatever. I do like this real quick. We have I'm gonna skip one, Joe, real quick, because maybe Jeff and Joe are the same person in two different universes, or we're the same person in the same universe. We're both bald. We both love the Eagles and Tasty Cakes and Wawa. But where it ends is Joe's a number crunching guy and I am not. So no, definitely not. I'm glad we thought this through though. Nukes Comics. Oh, Joe, you wanted to mention something about Brian?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good. Nukes Comics. Ask Joe and crew. You have one day to pitch ideas to any of the top 3 publishers. Which publisher do you pick, and what is your pitch? I'm bringing in the canon crew in here. Sorry, Dan, just completely surprised you.
I'm just grabbing my comic that I would save, the Fantastic Four #3 signed by Stan Lee. If that's the last one I'd grab, this is the one I'd wander off with.
But that's not the question. I do appreciate that. Here's the question, real quick. You have 1 day to pitch ideas to any of the 3 publishers. Which publisher do you pick, and what is your pick? Mine's easy, but I'll have you guys go first.
All right, I'm going to go, just because I'm a pretty financially minded guy, I'm going to go with Image, because creator owned. I'm a big fan of Image as a company and what they've done to the comic book industry, how they've grown over the last, 30 some years, 33 years this year. And, what they've done for creators. In fact, they're outselling DC at this point, and who knows? They could maybe outsell Marvel at some point.
I'm just going to make it easy. Joe took my answer. I was going to say Image as well for those exact reasons, and I just like how it's run. So we're going to go Josh and the judge.
Well, wait, what's your idea, though?
No. It's your idea.
Question.
Oh.
Your idea.
My idea would be this. I'm also going to hit up Image. And the idea for the comic is going to be a comic about the comic book canon crew reporting news while in the universe of whatever comic they want.
Interesting. I like that answer. And Judge, Mr. Your Honorable Dan De La Torre.
All right, my instincts are always good. I'm going to bring back the Fantastic Four #3 to answer this question. I would go back to Marvel. And I would say, especially if the Fantastic Four movie is sound and they're going kind of retro and it is successful, I would say, because they have such deep history, go back to more of a retro style of writing, because the ones that are modern that I've read are fantastic. If the writer is on to the historical perspective here, when they go off on a limb with these new stories, it's hit or miss. There should at least, I'm not saying completely across the board, but I'm saying there should be a segment of the writing based on originality.
Okay. All of these are great. Actually, Dan, you're the only one with the truly original answer compared to the fact that we all said Image. But great question. So we'll see both of you very, very soon. I like that. These questions are coming in. We got 2 more left here, actually. 2 more left. Are you ready, Joe?
I'm ready.
Ask Joe, do you think we'll see the new Spawn movie in our lifetime?
I hope we do. That movie that came out in 98, it's dated at this point. It wasn't a great movie to begin with. Let's be real. It was a good attempt for the time at a superhero movie. So I really hope we do. I do think we will. There's no reason why we shouldn't have had it already, but Todd McFarlane's all over the place.
All right, I'm going to say I do think we will, and I think it'll come out in the next 5 years. I do remember watching that Spawn movie, being blown away by it, and you look at it now and it's like, okay. All right, our final question of the evening. Ask Joe, Josh, Jeff, and Dan, what do you guys know about Malice? I have her first appearance, but I don't see anything about her.
Which Malice? There are multiple characters named Malice. There's Malice from the 70s, who was a villain in Black Panther or Jungle Action or something like that.
Isn't there a Malice that's a symbiote too?
I believe it. Well, there's one of the symbiotes that's Malice. Yeah, I'm not sure which one you mean. As far as the minor characters, I mean, I always like learning more about the minor characters, because sometimes they do come back, and sometimes they come back a very long time later, aka Gaggy the Clown, who appeared in the Silver Age and then didn't come back until probably 2009 or something like that, just before New 52. So yeah, I think it's cool when minor characters get plucked out of obscurity.
Oh, Malice from Fantastic Four, Sue Storm. I don't know much about her. Late 90s, I think, or mid 90s.
It was late 90s. No, late 80s.
Late 80s.
Yeah, I don't know much about that character, because it was kind of
my first time learning about that character. So I'll leave the floor to one of you gentlemen.
Yeah, I have no opinion.
Yeah, I'm not a huge
where she first appears, but yeah, I don't.
That's it's Sue Storm that like it becomes evil, right?
Yeah.
Right. I
So
forget
that's
the
like a
character
Phoenix
that
Wright.
turned her evil. And I could see the character. I forget the character's name. Shoot.
Well, that tells you everything, Dan. Right there is that it wasn't that memorable. It was
Actually, it was. It was a pretty good story, but not a huge, huge character. But
Yeah,
I did have a quick question if you have a moment.
Oh yeah, go for it, Dan.
Okay. So the latest scandal from CGC, Ryan from Automatic Comics profiled it on his channel, and he's like, another scandal. This is about not about comics, but about cards, Pokemon cards in particular, and these were worth tens of thousands, which stuns me. I didn't realize these cards would be so expensive, but they were mislabeled, not authentic, whatever, and so it's yet another scandal. And he echoes what I have said. It's one thing after another, after another, after another. Now, Joe, since you buy and sell, you're kind of locked into, like many, to CGC, whether you realize it or no, I know you realize it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And my thought was this: is that with such a large company like Blackstone that owns hundreds of companies across the world, and including here in the U.S., you don't necessarily want to make money on all these companies, because when it comes to tax time, if you have a company that's hemorrhaging money and is coming up with a huge loss, that's great for your overall report, because it balances out some of the profits you have. And unfortunately, that loss may come with CGC. So I guess it's not so much a question, but it's like, what's your response to this? Because they don't seem to be correcting all the mistakes that they keep running into or causing themselves. And if they're just going to take a huge loss at our expense, again, we're all sort of locked in one way or another. What's your thoughts on that? If they're just going to say take a dump on CGC and then just dump it when we're done with it?
Yeah. So kind of what you're referring to, it's called tax loss harvesting.
Yes.
Which basically, it's usually more used with individual investors rather than investment companies, but it can be used for both. And it's essentially selling off an investment for a loss in order to offset your gains for the year. So you're up X amount, but this one loss is for Y amount. So X minus Y is Z, and that's your actual gains for the year. You bring down, essentially it's like someone putting in a deduction and bringing down their adjusted gross income for the year, paying less taxes, yada, yada, yada. Investment companies do this all the time. Not everything makes money. Not everything is sold at a profit or even a break even. As far as this scandal, I actually did watch a couple videos on this. I'm not a Pokemon card guy, but I'm a Magic the Gathering card guy. So it was definitely something interesting to learn. These were really rare items. These were not regular cards. And I think that's something we need to take into a consideration here. These were not cards that you can go out and buy in a store. These were test cards used in the mid-90s before the Pokemon card game ever came out. They were literally used, they were printed and used by the creators of the game to try things out and test them in the alpha and the beta and the gamma testing sequences before the set came out. And apparently they were forged so well that CGC could not tell the difference. But at the same time, if you think about this, it's not like CGC sees a lot of these. And I'm not excusing mistakes, but this wouldn't happen with normal cards. This wouldn't happen with normal comics. A grading company, no matter if it's CGC or EGS or CBCS or PGX or Halo, for the most part, maybe PGX or Halo, I'm not too sure about them, but for a company as big as CGC, it would be very rare for them to take a normal card that you get in a pack or a normal comic off the shelf and not be able to pull out a forgery, not be able to tell that this is a fake. These cards were something out of the realm of normality. And should they go back and fix this problem? Oh yeah. Should they be giving refunds in the tune of probably several $1 million? Yep, they absolutely should if they put their name on it. How will that go about? I don't know. I think this is something that makes me very glad that I don't collect graded Pokemon cards, and is something that is going to just take some time to resolve.
But I just, all I know on this, I guarantee you, when Blackstone bought CGC and expanded on it, they had no clue on comics. They'd never read a comic. They just bought it because it was a numbers thing to gain equity and all that. So I'm just, my great worry is that we're going to pay the price at the end when this whole thing falls apart, and it's going to at some point. I don't see any reason that it won't. And this is just, again, the latest scandal among many, and it's not. I don't see any end to this.
They're definitely piling up for sure. All right, with that, we're going to have to end this segment that we call
Ask Joe, Ask Joe, Ask Joe, Joe, Ask Joe, whoa, and Jeff.
That was a really good one. Very active Ask Joe. And Jeff, very happy with that. We'll have the judge and Joshua back at the end of the show. We are actually entering into the final stages here for the show, but we do a segment we call Did You Know? And Joe, I have a feeling you know, but I'm just making sure that, did you know that Marvel started a new universe back in the 80s?
Yes, I do.
Did you know Marvel once tried to create a whole new universe and it almost faded into obscurity? Picture this, it's 1986, and Marvel Comics wants a fresh start, free from decades of backstory. They launched the new universe to celebrate their 25th anniversary, promising realistic heroes in a world that feels like the one outside your window. Titles like Starbrand, DP7, Justice, and Nightmask were meant to carry the line. But big visions can collide with bigger challenges. Budget cuts, editorial upheavals, and rushed storylines. One of the most infamous moments? Starbrand number 12, when Pittsburgh was destroyed. Shocking readers in a way that felt jarring, not groundbreaking. Within a few years, most new universe titles were canceled, and Marvel quietly set the concept aside. Whether you see it as a daring experiment or a cautionary tale, the new universe remains a fascinating what if in Marvel's history. So, if you've never heard of DP7 or Nightmask, you're not alone. But now you know about Marvel's biggest attempt at a cosmic do-over, one that fizzled out almost as quickly as it began.
So, Joe,
Yeah.
I want to say something, that you buy a lot of bulk books,
Yes.
and you probably see a lot of these books in those.
That's what I was actually going to say. If this is something that interests you, start digging in dollar bins. They are everywhere. If you find some, 80s stuff, that kind of like early Copper Age, mid 80s, it is definitely stuff to look out for. Obviously, they said that it didn't take off. There wasn't great storylines, but if it's something you want to check out, you can do so really cheap just by digging in the dollar bins. If you like, picking up that kind of stuff and just learning a little bit about the history.
Yeah, again, they made a big push for this, but it seems like their strategy and their planning really wasn't there. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this. It seemed to maybe click with certain people, because every time I get a collection that has new universe stuff, it usually has all of it. It usually has all the different runs and at least a chunk of all of them. Maybe not the full run, but it's got a pretty significant amount. Whereas there's a lot of 80s collections that have absolutely nothing in there.
Yeah. Josh says you have these in your $10 bins. All right. Well, there was a Did You Know? We'll have another Did You Know coming up. Again, we're hitting the final stretch of the show. Favorite segment for everybody, including Joe and I. It is called Fresh from the Comic Shop. You can win some amazing Crafty Comics cases. They are our proud sponsor. Very happy to have them on board. And again, right here, our brand new intro explains everything about Fresh from the Comic Shop. Take it away, Groovy. This dude's name is Groovy, Joe.
True.
Facts. But that's not it right there.
Fresh from the comic shop, your collection's treasures ready to pop. It's time to share, don't let it flop. Fresh from the comic shop. Take a shot, make it bright, give it style and flair. Show a book that's unique, something rare out there. Tell us why it matters, what's the story behind. Pull at our heartstrings and you'll surely shine.
Sponsored by Crafty Comics, where collections flex their style. Museum quality slabs and displays with 99% UV protection. Because your fresh gets deserved the spotlight.
That's right, fresh from the comic shop. Again, send us those submissions in. You better be following Crafty, by the way. Link is down below, as well as their Instagram. Our Instagram is down below as well. Please follow us. Just load up your picture to Instagram. Make sure to tag us in the picture, not the description. We will not see it in the description. Tag us in the picture. 3 things to think about. Take a well-composed shot. Get creative. Have fun with it. Get artistic. 2, find a unique book if you have one. Show us something that we may never have seen before. It doesn't have to be like $30,000, right, Joe?
It does not have to be $30,000.
No, it could be $3, and it could be something that blows everybody's minds. And 3, this goes a long way. Pull on our heartstrings. Let us know what it means to you. We got some great submissions this week. But before we do, we have an announcement because we have a January winner. It was Mons Comics versus Dr. Plagueis. Both of them sent in some stellar submissions, and wow, it was tight for a while. I think we had a turnout of like 60 people voting.
Yeah.
So I have to announce that the winner is Brandon, aka Mon Comics. Congratulations, both of you guys rocked it. But Mons, you will be getting an amazing Crafty case. Again, Crafty Comics cases. By the way, before they even came on board to sponsor Fresh from the Comic Shop, I was a big fan. So no bullshit. We don't talk about products we don't believe in. Truly believe in, by the way, EGS case, by the way. Truly believe in Crafty Comics. All right, we're going to get right into it, though. First off, here with Kate's Comics. You ready, Joe? You ready?
Do it.
Let's do it, indeed. The Batman Adventures Holiday Special #1 from 1995. Thank you, Submariner Comics, for an amazing giveaway. This book is so near and dear to me, particularly as a 90s kid who rewatched the Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero VHS frequently with my 2 younger brothers growing up. Batman the Animated TV episode Heart of Ice, and later this movie led to a shift in Mr. Freeze's character to be a more sympathetic villain who may be committing crimes but doing it for the love of his wife, Nora. This issue includes 2 of my favorite stories from the Batman animated comic series. First, in the Harley and the Ivy, the two drug routes ran to force him to pay for their holiday shopping spree. It includes a funny moment where they accidentally knock Bruce down an elevator shaft, believing him to be killed off, but not worried since his credit card still worked. Unfortunately for the pair, Batman happens to be nearby. Who would have thought? Then in White Christmas, Mr. Freeze escapes from Arkham Asylum to provide snow on Christmas Eve to honor his late wife, Nora, who he married on a snowy Christmas Eve. Again, Kate does a great job encapsulating how they redefined Dr. Freeze. So I love this submission, Joe.
Yeah, this is such a good book, and I've talked about my love for Freeze, particularly the animated series version of Freeze. Awesome stuff. 9.8, of course, great.
Yeah, again, so congratulations on that, Kate's well done. Joseph, give us your first fresh cut of the week.
Yeah, so this one's a funny one. This is a book you probably all remember a couple years ago was the big hype book of the week. This is Black Panther #3. This is the variant cover by Gary Frank. This book was hotter than hot. When I'm talking about, like, this is just a random, like, B variant cover. It's not like a ratio or anything. 9/8 of this book were selling for over $200 when it came out and had a high sale of $285. It dwindled down into the 200s and then the high hundreds and then down, and down and down. And to this day right now, this book in a 9.8, the specific cover is selling for about $50 to $60.
Incredible.
This is the first appearance of Tosin, who is the son of T'Challa. And this was like, I think it came out shortly after the passing of Chadwick Boseman. And a lot of people were thinking, oh, this is the new character that they're introducing that's going to be the new Black Panther. It still might happen. You know, we did get a version of the character, his son. His name was not Tosin in the movie. It was Toussaint, which is just a different spelling maybe of the same name. That being said, that book went from a raw $100 book, 9.8 over 200, to being, I currently have it priced at $15.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I think the reason it became so hot, by the way, Tosin is not the son. I don't believe he is the son of T'Challa. But he was a hot character because correct us if we're wrong here in the chat. I don't know. But I do remember this is coming out of the pandemic, I guess. And Bleeding Cool had an article saying this is the next Miles Morales.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody went nuts over Tosin. And all of those books were super hot. All of them, even cover A. By the way, I love Gary Frank, but even cover A was like super hot.
And cover A was over 300. That one. More people, if it's not a ratio, most people want cover A, over just like random like B variant covers like that. But there was a 1 in 25 variant. There was a Joe Jusko variant, which was pretty cool.
Right.
But the 1 in 25 variant was like several $100s as well in the 9.8. And yeah, the even just the regular cover was over 300.
Insane. So everybody went crazy for Tosin, who's still around, gonna be probably doing some stuff, maybe in the MCU one day. Who knows? But that brings back memories, Joseph. All right, we're gonna move on to our next submission. By the way, like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. 33 million people watching on a Sunday night. We truly appreciate you. 33 million people. Moving on. Raising Elm Comics. Here we go. It does it again. Howdy, comic fam. I have stumbled across a unique part of my comic book history, the CompuComic comic book inventory program, along with an IBM 3.5-inch floppy disk, all from 1980 to 1990. This, without a doubt, predates the Key Collector app. For more than a year now, I have been working in the information technology field, and I have learned so much and enjoyed every minute of it. This rare piece merges my chosen profession with one of my favorite hobbies. These are some of the tools of the trade, too. Other similar programs were released throughout the early 90s, so I may have to grab those for the PC as well. What did y'all find this week? Much love, Comic Fam. I also just appreciate the work in many of the Dennys and nope, that's somebody else. I messed that up, by the way. Talk about unique, Joe.
Yeah, it's
also bringing in kind of the heartstring aspect of this is who I am. This is so cool. One of the coolest submissions we've had, to be honest. Very unique. Truly appreciate that. Again, Justin, aka Raising Elm, crushes it. All right, I'm gonna show off my first fresh get of the week. What are we gonna go with? We'll go with this. So, Oh Yeah Comics, my local comic book shop in Harrison, New York. Love them. They had a 60% off sale. Also, they had a $1 bin.
Ooh.
60% off because they have 150 long boxes they need to make room for. So I saw this in the $1 bin. I'm like, hell yeah! This is Hulk, the Red Hulk run with McGinnis started it, but Ian Churchill and Jeff Loeb. This is issue 15, the second cameo appearance of the Red She-Hulk. It's got a cool, very cool cover with Elektra on there. And Red Hulk just looking menacing as all get out. So I love this. For $1, I was like, why not? I don't have this in my collection. I did collect this run, and I lost it.
Yeah, that run, especially in the last couple of years, has become more and more popular with Red Hulk being in the movies. But honestly, it's always been a popular run. It's always been a book that's been sellable.
For sure. Issue 1 and 2 really have, again, for the introduction of the Red Hulk, who's a very interesting character. Like, it's not like, let's just do a different color Hulk. I thought it was really well done, a lot of fun. All right, we have our good friend, Nori Jordan. Where are you, Nori? Is it Nori? Yeah, Nori, you're next. Nori Jordan right here. For those of you not keeping track, it has been a month since I have posted any Thunderbolts books. That's a fact. This year, I have shifted my focus on my Daredevil collection because he is my second favorite character. Sorry, we know Bullseye is the best. And I honestly have only a few Thunderbolt books left to find. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. This week, I picked a nice copy of Daredevil number 42. This is the first appearance of the Jester. He's not the greatest villain. Sorry. He's not the greatest villain ever made, but he was a consistent character, and he was always entertaining. It is nice to having an additional goal this year, and I'm excited to see how it goes. Take care, everyone. Woo! Yo, I think I caught what you got. Joseph, your second fresh get of the week. What do you have?
All right, this one is perfect for right now. We just got done Creature Commandos, and this is a character that was in the show. Beautiful grade on this book from 1977.
Oh, yeah!
Bronze Age. This is Detective Comics number 469. First appearance of Dr. Phosphorus. Like I said, 1977, a nice Bronze Age book. How about this for a grade?
Whoa, hello!
9.8 white pages. I just picked this up in a collection. A friend of mine just downsizing a little bit, and I was able to pick up this book, and it'll be up for grabs if you are a Creature Commandos fan, Dr. Phosphorus fan, Batman fan, whatever it may be. That'll be up in my next claim sale.
Yo, he is a fun character in Creature Commandos. Absolutely. Did you finish Creature Commandos?
I haven't yet, no.
Jesus, Joe, come on. But he's like, I mean, they're all great in their own right. It's so well done. Again, James Gunn bringing in a whole group of characters together and making it work. It was awesome. That's very well done there, Joseph. Next up, we have Dr. Plagueis. Yep, right here. Sorry for the drama. What do we have? I have many Hal Jordan figures, but for too long, I didn't have just a normal Hal Jordan lantern. Finally got my hands on him today, thanks to my buddy Marco, and there was one pairing above all that I needed to do and have wanted to do. Probably my all-time favorite Green Lantern art by none other than the great Neil Adams. I have a bad habit of everything being my favorite, but Green Lantern Hal Jordan is one of my all-time favorites. And if there's any way I could prove that, it would be that the largest portion of my comic book collection devoted to one character is him. In the brightest day, in the darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. We have that in common, Dr. Plagueis. That's my favorite DC character. Spider-Man is my favorite character by far, but I love me some Green Lantern, and I really love what he did here with the lighting, Joe.
Love it. This is a great example of a well-composed shot. Got a little bit of extra going on as well.
No doubt about that. All right, my second fresh get, Joseph. It's not going to be yours, but it was a nice find, again, for 60% off, Joe. This is Rogue's first series right here. It's a limited series. It was listed at $12, 60% off. You do the math. That's $7.20. So what is it? $4 and
$5.80.
Yeah, that's what I said. Anyways,
$4.80.
It's a nice minty fresh book. But Joe, I just want to point out it's also a newsstand.
Oh, look at the newsie.
For a nice, mid-90s book as a newsstand?
Yeah, not bad.
$5? Like, come on, man. So I was very happy with this. It's a cool cover, too. And I love the gold right there.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Typical 90s book. So that was my second fresh get. And it just fell. There goes the 9.8. Moving on. Who do we have next, Joe? Who do we have? Oh, Kaboom Comics. Talk about Spawn. We were talking about Spawn earlier today. Kaboom! Hey, comic fam, fresh from the comic shop. This is my fresh from the comic shop this week to go along with my other Spawn books. The cool part of these Spanish versions are that they are all virgin covers and some are foil. I've always been a fan of Todd McFarlane art, and I feel when I do detailed artwork, I add so much that I want my art to look like Todd's. But I always end up back to my own style. Enjoy Comic Book Canon and Kaboom family. Remember to watch the show and join on the fun with the guys every Sunday. Thank you for the plug there. Wow, that's really cool that they're virgin covers right there. And Kaboom has a really, really cool his art style. So much so, if you don't remember, that Super Crispy won fresh from the comic shop from a book that Kaboom drew. So that was really awesome. Anyways, Joseph, your third fresh get of the week. What do you have?
Final one, another great grade on a older key. This is 1967 Blue Beetle number 1, first appearance of The Question. This is the original Charlton printing from 67. I got this in the same collection that I got that Detective Comics, and this guy did like some high grade stuff. 9.2, and I think it's white pages. It is white pages on a book from 1967, near mint minus, first appearance of The Question.
That's freaking awesome, dude. That's absolutely amazing. By the way, Dennys Cowan, my featured artist for Black History Month, also did The Question as well. I forgot to mention that. You just reminded me. All right, moving on. We have Nori. well, we did Nori Jordan. Why am I all discombobulated, Joseph? We got Josh's Comics. Our very own Josh's Comics. Detective Comics number 328. First appearance of Harriet Cooper, the aunt of Dick Grayson, who was a character adapted for the 1966 Batman TV series. February 8th is Bill Finger's birthday, just 6 days away. Bill Finger is credited as co-creator of Batman. In reality, Bill is actually the main creator of not only Batman, but most likely his entire lore. Issue 328 is the last issue of Detective Comics Bill ever wrote. In my eyes, it's a nice little grail, an important part of Batman history. Also watch Batman and Bill documentary. It's a complete eye-opener and tells this true story of how Batman came to be. Enjoy this little history lesson for Fresh from the Comic Shop. Remember, turn the page, wash your hands. What?
Wow, that was my line. Remember when I used to do actual YouTube videos? That's what I signed off every show with.
Yes.
Yeah. Turn the page, wash your hands, which is, for those of you who don't know, for those of you who actually watched my YouTube videos when I was doing them, that is a line from Rocco's Modern Life. When Rocco works in a comic book store, and Sheldon, his friend that's like the real nervous turtle, he's like, I hate reading comic books because you get ink and stuff all over your hands. You turn the page and you wash your hands. You turn the page, you gotta wash your hands. And that was like a reference to that, which was one of my favorite shows as a kid.
Well, Joe, you still do quite a bit of content, but you do the shorts mainly. You're not.
I do the shorts. Josh, you can't steal that from me. I gotta start using it again.
Yeah, Josh is saying he is going to. You forgot to file for the trademark, Josh. All right. Oh wait. Yeah, I guess it's my third fresh get of the week. I'm excited about this. Again, this is all the 60% off, Joe. So I need to get into this because I picked up a few copies when it first came out, but I never read it. So I'm going to start reading it now. And I know a lot of people are big fans of this book, but Radiant Black. I got the 1 in 25 virgin cover right here for $6. It was listed as $15, so I got the 60% off there. And then I got, what's this, issue number 2, the first appearance of Radiant Red. So I gotta read these because Kyle Higgins is kind of crushing it with his own little universe, doing a lot of cool things. Like that almost fell too. Doing a lot of cool things like having like a radio show where it's a narrative story. It's just really, really cool. So
cool.
Yeah, that's my third fresh get of the week. And so finally, our last fresh get is from Nuke's Comics, fresh from the comic shop, Amazing Spider-Man 189. Things are finally going Spidey's way. He's not a wanted man anymore, and Aunt May will finally get the medical care she needs. But a new foe threatens the wall crawler's contentment. Meanwhile, J. Jonah Jameson is looking for his kidnapped son. Is this mass threat after both JJ and Spidey? Great art and exciting read. I picked this up from DBS. Happy Sunday, Comic Book Canon crew. Good stuff indeed. Yeah, this cover is awesome. I love this cover. Like, I love this cover. I wonder who that is. That's probably Ramita. Wouldn't you say, Joe?
Ramita or Kane, right? Kane was the person who took over after.
Andrew. I can't remember his last name. Anyways, this is really, really solid cover right there. So, we got a lot of great submissions here. I want to bring in the rest of the crew right now, including the judge. Guys, quickly, overall thoughts. What did you think of the submissions? I thought they were fire.
Phenomenal. I mean, a couple stood out to me, and I'll get into that in a second. But keep submitting. We really appreciate all of you who do it every week or every other week or as often as you can. It just makes this so much more fun.
It's great to see because there's been such a lackluster submission that we had a bunch of them. So everyone's back on track again. I'm happy to see it.
Back on track indeed. Again, you're not required to send them in, but we are disappointed when you don't.
Yeah.
But you don't need to apologize. Everybody has a life and other things going on. We're joking. So we have a tough decision to make, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, damn, dude.
I'll say one that stood out to me.
One stood out to you.
A couple stood out to me. But
I had 3 that stood out to me.
Yeah, I'd probably say I had 3 that stood out to me. And one of them was definitely Raising Elm.
Yeah, that was mine because it's so unique. It's so damn unique, right?
It's unique.
I love it.
And it ties in with his personal life, which is awesome. We love to see that.
For sure. I also want to mention that Kate's stuck out to me as well. I'm not sure if that stuck out to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely a heartstrings moment.
Joe, it's your turn to pick the other one that stuck out for you. Is it only 3 on your side? Is what you're saying? Right?
Well, Dr. Plagueis was awesome as well. The presentation was super sick.
Yeah, that's the third one for me. Those are the 3 that stick out for me. Joe, do you have any others that do stick out to you?
No, that's it.
So we have the same ones that the 3 of us have stuck out on. I think. God, this is the problem. You guys submit fire, and it makes our jobs that much more difficult. But we're appreciative of that. So we have to pick one of those 3, and this is so hard for me. I'm gonna eliminate one.
Which one?
On my side, I'm just saying.
Okay, go ahead.
I love how unique it is, but I'm going to say that this does not make my top 2.
Really?
Yeah,
That's surprising.
Wow, that was my number 1.
Oh, Nikes. Okay.
Okay, well then I'll eliminate one. Well, what's your number 2?
I don't know. They're really close. It's either Dr. Plagueis, obviously, or Kate's, and they're so close. I don't know. But I think I'm leaning towards Kate's.
Really, I'm leaning towards Dr. Plagueis out of these 2.
Wow.
Kate's is great. Don't get me wrong, but it was number 3 for me.
Judge,
So
what do we do? I don't know what we do because
Kate was 3 and you're 1, and your 3 was my 1, and we both were number 2 on Dr. Plagueis.
I suggest we bring in Josh's opinion on this because it'd be a 3-on-1 thing, so that would help out the math. So, Josh, what say you, sir?
I might be biased here because I'm a DC guy, and they're both DC, but I'm Batman heavy. But can I bring one in at a time? Let's
All
look at them.
No, all 3 because
We're
we really
going-
did
we're
that.
going-
Let's start off with Kate. I love this submission. I'm a big Batman Adventures guy, and pulls at the heartstrings a little bit here with what she gave us, and a 9.8 in that book is great. So, all right, I see it.
Next up, we got Raising Elm.
Now, look, this is something unique. Okay, something that we don't see. I don't know if we've ever seen it here on Canon. At least
Never.
I
We've
haven't.
never seen this.
So I think this has a right to be up there. So I can see why some of you may not like it, but I think it's very unique. Doesn't check off all 3 boxes though.
But here's the deal: no, we don't. It's not like we don't like it. It's just.
Well, you know what I mean. Not that you don't like it.
Judge.
It's you got one's better than others. You would say.
And then Dr. Plagueis.
Yeah, and then Doc always brings in the figures, but check out the lighting on here.
That's what I got. The lighting is fabulous on this one.
So
like
good.
I love the lighting and the way how it looks like the lantern is powering him up. He's getting the lighting from the lantern. So yeah, man, this is rough.
This is so hard.
All right, I'm just gonna say it's down to Kate and Doc.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it like that. Ah, man.
Do.
There you go.
All right. So mine who I pick would be Doc. I think
Dr.
the lighting.
Plagueis?
I think the lighting here. It's just the lighting is really getting to me, and Kate's is a great submission and stuff, but this is a well composed shot with the lighting. I know there's something about this that's driving me towards it, and I'm really digging it out. But I do love the Batman animated, adventures. But yeah,
That was so tough. Like honestly, any of them I would have been okay. But again, the strength of these submissions has just made it that much more difficult to choose. Judge, what do you say?
The Dr. Plagueis one reminds me, if you've ever been to Disneyland and Pirates of the Caribbean, that kind of lighting. It's there's all that weird background. You have no idea what's behind it, which is kind of which is kind of cool, creepy at the same time. But I'm hearing from the 3 of you, it's close, but I think Dr. Plagueis has it between Josh and Jeff. And I know Kate's had a great submission, but I think we're going to have to go with Dr. Plagueis.
Yeah.
Dr. Plagueis it is. Dr. Plagueis just lost the finals, but is moving on to another semifinals.
Yeah.
Case
This year,
dismissed.
so there we go. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Your Honor. Everybody, well done on your submissions. Again, you guys make the canon so good, and we truly appreciate you and have a blast doing this each and every week. We're seeing a bit of growth with the channel, so we're very appreciative of that. You're either telling your friends or new people are just finding us, so happy to have that happen. Again, we are off next week. We will miss you all, truly, but the Eagles are playing. And, you know, I'm going to take Dan off here real quick while he changes. But, yeah, oh, he's back. That was quick. So, again, we are off Super Bowl Sunday. I'll be honest, even if the Eagles weren't in the Super Bowl, which everybody knew was going to happen, we would have to take off anyways because it's one of the most watched events. I mean, 30 million people watch us, 300 million watch the Super Bowl. So please forgive us and root for the Eagles. Again, great show. Truly appreciate you all, Joe.
Yeah, go Birds first and foremost. There's not a lot of things that I like to do when I'm sick, but this is something that I will push through. You know, get something done. Be on the show.
Joe, everybody.
I couldn't say no to being here. We were talking like an hour before the show. Josh was like, "If you want me to take over, you know, I'll take the show for you." Josh, I appreciate it, but I try to push through for this show. So thank you all for being here, making it worth it, and go Birds. Yeah.
Your Honor.
First of all, shout out to Joe. I mean, you're coming out from not feeling well at all. That's the worst thing to do, and you powered through it. I couldn't be prouder of you. Thank you so much. If you don't mind, I'm going to plug my own little channel. I've got not even 100 subscribers on my channel. It's Dan Delatorre 1870. It's kind of more of a historical channel because I'm fascinated with the history of comics, and I have no that person to do this to me because I've been at it for almost 50 years collecting. So if you want to check it out, that's great. And guys, good luck in the Super Bowl. I know you guys are writing, especially you, Jeff. We probably should have someone to watch over you just in case.
Alicia, she'll take care of things.
Yeah, and I absolutely want the Eagles to win. I do not want Mahomes, and I don't want. I'm going to be pretty catty right now. I'm so sick of Taylor Swift. I have nothing against her personally. I'm sick of this woman being on everywhere.
You know, she was an Eagles fan, by the way. She's from the area, so.
Oh yeah, what a traitor! I'm sorry. I shouldn't be negative. I'm sorry. Just being honest with you guys. So, but hey, great show. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks, and keep those submissions going.
Joshua.
Yeah, shout out to Joe for pushing through and joining us. And it's not easy, especially when he has to do Ask Joe and answer a lot of questions and do a lot of talking. But glad he was able to make it tonight. Great submissions, guys. Like, we're only in the first month of the year, and you guys are just like, you're to the point now where submissions are getting so good and so competitive. You need to have all four of us come on. Like, that's great. So keep it up. This week, like I said, no canon, no show. I will say this: if Fantastic Four trailer drops on Tuesday, I will do a reaction video. I'm doing that now on my YouTube channel. You can check that out. If not, we'll talk about it in the up and coming show the week after. Go Birds! I don't really watch football, but my co-hosts here love them, and my family's a diehard Eagles fan, so hopefully they win. I know my dad's gonna be, he was a big fan, and I'm sure he's watching from the big seats up in the heavens, so I'm sure he's rooting for them as well and everything. And just thank you guys so much, and hit the like button, please subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Now, Josh, your YouTube is your handle, Josh's Comics 01?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'm close.
We got to get both of your channels in the description moving forward. But Dan,
I am close to almost 700 subscribers. I'm about 19 away.
Dan, if you could drop your link in the chat as well. Again, everybody, we truly appreciate you. Time is the most precious commodity that we have, and spending time with you on a Sunday is always precious to us. So again, we're off next weekend for the Super Bowl. Can't wait. But we'll be back on the 16th, February the 16th, with an all-new episode. So, again, like and subscribe, follow the newsletter. Until February the 16th, please, everybody, be good to yourself and be good to others. Peace.